Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's Reddit stories are from IDontWorkHereLady. Story 1 is by Charred Debris. Diffused a Karen today. I was wandering through a different brand of big box hardware store as I'm spending the weekend away from home for work and heard the wind-up of the turbo for a... I can't say this phrase, there's no way to ease into it. The first word is the B word. The B-O-Matic 5000. I love the phrase, but I do my best not to swear on this channel. The growing in loudness. I can't believe how unhelpful everyone is. Why people won't just do their jobs. How hard is it to blah blah blah, etc. Normally this would be my cue to nope on out of the area, but I don't have anything better to do. I casually walked by to see what the actual F was going on, and this woman with a cart loaded up with flooring tiles is complaining to this young lady who might have been 85 pounds soaking wet about her not taking the woman's cart out to her car and loading it in. The woman is trying to tell her that she will call someone over to help, but Karen is not listening. I am pretty much free to do whatever I want, so I asked if I could help. Karen refuses and starts to insist it's this poor girl's problem. I mentioned that I don't mind helping, and as long as it gets done, why would she care who does it? Cue angry, I can do it. She pushed her crap out the door, and as I drove away, she was loading her own stuff into her own car, just like a normal person. And I still don't work there. What does she hope to gain by trying to make somebody who's really tiny load some heavy flooring tiles into her car? I don't understand why she would have an issue with that. She's trying to get somebody who can lift things to come up front and help, and this woman's still going off on her? How hard is it to put this stuff in my car? You don't know what's going on with employees. Even if she wasn't tiny, what if she had a back injury? She can't lift certain things. There's absolutely no reason for this, but some people just have to be awful. Our next post is by Moist Quality 2225. Oh, here's a question for you guys. Do you love or hate that word, moist? I think if you actually Google what the most hated word in the English language is, moist is one of them. Anyway, on to the story. Here's the title. Not even in heck. So I'm 61 years old, retired, and I live alone. By virtue of being 61 and retired, the garden where I used to grow my Fs has been paved over. So one summer's day, I'm at my local mall looking for a coffee pot. I broke my old one. Now, I'm wearing a spotty folk festival t-shirt, camo shorts, and naked feet in Birkenstocks. Very managerial. Lol. So I'm in some shop or another looking at the coffee pots. I hear raised voices a couple aisles over. A woman's voice screaming words like lazy and you rude brat, etc. A quiet male voice was trying to be heard and failing dismally. So I go to the aisle. As I round the corner, I see a young guy in his mid-teens, very well appointed in his summer clothes, with an anorexic gorgon screaming into his face. Then she upped with her hand and slapped the kid in the face. As he stood there in shock, manfully not crying, she sees me and comes charging over, grabs me by the arm and drags me to the kid, yelling something about fired and lazy, you're his manager, and other nonsense I didn't pay attention to. In the midst of this tirade, I turned to young guy, winked and mouthed, play along. You see, I've been listening to these things for a while, and I've got a response ready. Oh, please let her give me a cue, and she does. She goes on and on about shop workers lying about not working there because they're lazy, etc. Jackpot. So I say, ma'am, do shop workers often lie to you to avoid serving you? Her, all the time. Kids are so lazy today. That was the gist of it, but there was more screaming and spit. Me, ma'am, I don't think that's laziness. I think it's because you're such an arrogant, ignorant B-word. The devil himself wouldn't have you in heck. When you put your 2 feet on the floor in the morning, the devil says, oh God, she's up. She looks like she's the one who just got slapped. For a minute, she says nothing. I turn to the kid, smile and say, and now we enjoy the show. She starts buzzing around the lights. There's screaming, spit flying, things getting thrown off shelves, the whole 9 yards. Me and the kid had to dodge a few flying objects. I just kept encouraging the kid and Diet Medusa's tantrum by making comments like, "Ooh, good one," and "Mrs. isn't much of a pitcher, is she? Did I mention that my F garden has been paved over?" Good lord, though, if this story's true, this woman is a psychopath. By this time, a manager and a couple security guards have arrived, and she worked herself into a total lather. Well, okay, I helped, but she did most of the work herself. There is nothing sensible coming out of her at this point, just screeches and spit. I tell them what I saw, and the kid confirmed it and fills in the rest. How she had thought he worked there, wouldn't believe that he didn't, and had slapped him. Off we went to see the security footage. So the cops were called. She was fitted for steel bracelets, and I encouraged the kid to call his parents. They decided to press charges. I found out later that she was sent for a psych eval and ended up in a psychiatric hospital for a couple of months. And I got to feel all supportive of a younger brother. We guys gotta have each other's backs. If this story's true, that woman is truly insane. You don't assault anybody, even if you think there's some employee that's not helping you. My goodness. Our next story is by Full Metal Warrior 2. I will never work here, lady. For context, this story takes place today. I don't, never have, or never will work at the place this story takes place at. I have worked at a place like it in my past. There was no reason for the story to happen. Involved in the story are 5 people. OP, me, Rumi, my roommate, Karen, who's Karen, Mr. Rude employee, and manager, who's manager. Early this afternoon, I was at a Wendy's getting lunch with my roommate when Karen walked in to order her food. She looked to be about 5 feet and 265 pounds. Rude woman pushed past us, and we were all trying to order our meal, only to be told by the manager. "Manager, ma'am, I'm going to ask you nicely to please use the register next to this one so this couple can order their meal." The woman looked at us and gave us a before turning to me and my roommate and still going off on a tangent. "Karen, shouldn't you two be behind the counter? You two are wasting your coworkers' time by ordering food." Note, neither me nor my roommate were wearing anything that can be confused with Wendy's uniforms. Rumi and OP, "Excuse me? Do we look like we're wearing Wendy's uniforms?" Note, I was wearing my AC/DC t-shirt and a brand new pair, they spelled pear like the fruit, of camouflage pajama bottoms, and my roommate was wearing a Home of the Brave t-shirt and a pair of blue jeans. And they spelled pear correctly the second time. "Karen, I don't care. Get back there and help your coworkers. You can eat after your shift." Manager, "Ma'am, quit harassing my customers or I will ask you to leave." Mr. Rude to Karen, "Come here and I'll take your order." Karen to Mr. Rude, "No, this isn't about who takes my order. This is about how a manager here is willing to serve his employees before actual customers. This is called favoritism. It's bad business." Manager, "I can assure you that neither of these two work here, and even if they did, I would serve them over you any day. I want you gone in the next 5 seconds or the cops will be called." Karen left without her food. Rumi and I got our meal for 60% off. That was the best Baconator, sour cream and chive baked potato, junior bacon cheeseburger, and 6-piece chicken nuggets with ranch that I ever ate. It was the best vanilla Dr. Pepper without ice I ever drank. Is it just me or does it feel like this person is advertising for Wendy's right now? Because I went from not being hungry at all, not even thinking about food, and now I want their food. Wendy's used to have a loaded baked potato that was my favorite thing, and they don't really do that, at least in the Wendy's that I go to here. It was a baked potato, but it had chili on it, and cheese, and sour cream, and bits of bacon too. Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was my favorite thing. Now they just have chili cheese fries, which are pretty close to the same thing, because it's potato with chili and cheese. And I like that a lot, but I feel like it's not as much of a meal as the baked potato thing was. Now, all of a sudden, I'm starving. And I'm pretty sure it had the same effect on people, because down in the comments by Cognitive Mothman, I really want a baked potato right now. And there's not enough businesses out there that do just a baked potato with chili and cheese and sour cream. That is a meal in itself. That's enough to tie you over for almost the entire day. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, you guys have a warm and toasty day.